We got another Appalachia summer storm rolling in, so I figure it's perfect weather to have a porch talk. And I actually got something special today, so let's check it out. Sorry if you hear my hummingbirds. They're going crazy today. I love that stuff. I gotta feed them again here soon. They're always hungry. Remember how I was saying about the older generation and all the items that they have that are to the common person may not seem have any use, they may seem old or outmoded, but a lot of them are actually treasures. They still have a lot of life in them. They're actually, in some ways, in many ways, better than the items we have today to use from. I was mainly talking about tools, but this case is a great example. So I'll show you. Let me give a little bit of story on this before I show it off, and I think that'll help illustrate my point even more. So I was doing work at an older gentleman's house, and we went up into his attic to look around. And as I was climbing up, normally customers don't follow me in there. Most people don't want to go in their attics. It's pretty normal, you know. Attic's not a fun place, and you can fall through pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing. But as I'm climbing up, this older gentleman says, "Do you mind if I go up there with you?" And I'm like, "Of course." He says, "I want to take inventory on what I got up there." And jokingly, I point to this orange bag with some train tracks poking out of it. And I say, "Well, I can get you started. There's a bag of old tracks." And I was just being funny. I try to have a little bit of humor when it comes to stuff like that. But little did I know, he actually had a story with that. He said, "That actually goes to an old family train set that nobody wants anymore. I've tried to give it to my family and my kids, but nobody wants it. They think it's junk. They think it's worthless." And I said, "Well, do you mind if I take a look at it?" And he said, "No, I don't mind at all." I told him that I dabble in model railroading, because I do. I don't have a very big set layout. I dabble in model railroading, and I'm definitely a big fan of trains. I'm sure you can tell from the overalls and the cap that I wear. Definitely got the engineer look, or the fireman look. But I'm a huge fan of railroading, trains, locomotives, and real life, and toys, and models. So I was telling him a little bit about my layout and models that I have, and I told him, I said, "Well, from the looks of that, it looks like an old Lionel set." And he said, "That's exactly what it is. I believe my brother got it from 1942. Our family got it. It was a Christmas present." And I said, "Wow, that's pretty amazing. That's pre-World War II. Those sets are the iconic Lionel set, the classic one." And he said, "Well, when you get done up here, come downstairs, I'll show you the engine." So I walk down the stairs, and I go into his office, and he shows me this engine. This engine right here. And he looks to me, and he says, "You have an interest in this stuff. Do you want it?" Completely mind blown. I was like, "Sir, I can't ask for anything like that." He says, "You're not asking. I'm asking. No one else in my family wants this. So I'm asking you, do you want it? It seems that you would take care of it, and you know a lot about these things." Now, to come out with all honesty, I don't know a lot about Lionel. I know a good bit about antique toys, not as much as I could say that I'm an expert in. And these are there's definitely a lot to know about them. I don't know a ton about it, but I want to learn. And, but I was more of an expert than his kids, is what he was getting at. And I accepted, and I was very grateful. And he said, "We'll go back up in the attic, get the bag of rails, and I got some other cars that go with it. It's yours." Absolutely flabbergasted. But that's what I'm talking about. You know, there are some people who have items that have stories, and for their childhood, they have a whole bunch of memories. This man was 80 years old. But sometimes there are people who just don't see the value in some stuff. And his kids and his grandkids didn't see the value in these locomotives, or this train set, rather. Whereas I did. Now, I can tell you that this train set's definitely in rough shape, but I want to go through the journey of bringing it back to operating order and working with it, and one day hopefully giving it to my kids. This is a piece of Americana right here. Now, they just don't make locomotives like this anymore. Pre-war, that's what this bad boy is. And it's definitely been through the ringer. He told me it runs. I gotta go back to that house and get the other stuff. I don't have everything I need. Obviously I'm missing a tender, and I don't have a power pack either. I believe I'm missing a box car too, but we'll see if he has that stuff. As you can see on the locomotive itself, it is damaged up near the actual front, right near where the guard would be. See right in there, let's see. It's definitely seen better days too. It's got a lot of rust on it. We're gonna have to take it apart and clean it and really show her some love, but these things are pretty sought after. I'm not saying they're extremely rare. They might be. Feel free to tell me in the comments. As far as I'm aware, you know, these things are sought after, and they're built pretty good, and they are a classic piece of model railroading history. I mean, every boy wants a Lionel. I've actually never owned a Lionel train set. I've only done HO and G scale. So I'm definitely one of those boys who did want a Lionel, whereas rather my Lionel train set, I wanted the, when I was way younger, I wanted the Thomas the Tank Engine one. Then it went to wanting the 4501, which is the Southern Railway locomotive. But back to this girl. He says that she runs. She's also got a little smoke unit there, but it's definitely missing some stuff. I'm not saying that we're going to put all our focus on this. We definitely have a lot of projects going on. So it's going to be on the back burner. I don't know much about them. It's got a lot of damage on it. Needs to be taken apart, definitely re-cleaned. But she is definitely a beauty. Included in the set not only was the locomotive, but I got this tanker. It's pretty cool. Sunco gas. Looks like it's still got all of its couplings. I am in no way knowledgeable about Lionel and if this is really broken or not. I can see that this one is missing a little ring. So this one's definitely been rigged up. That could be the way it's supposed to come. Like I said, I don't know much about Lionel. We're going to learn though. This is a great learning opportunity. Here I got the caboose. Pretty cool. It's got some damage on it. It's an old set, you know. This isn't mint condition. This is what one man had. That was his family train set. You know, the family train set takes abuses. I mean, my actual models that I have, some of them are missing parts. The Christmas train that I have, missing some parts, and the lights don't even work on it. So, but other pieces that were included, which I find cool, are these pins. That's how the track connects. It's still in the original packaging, all the way from Fundimensions, General Mills Fun Group for Lionel trains. Who knows how old this packaging is? What I do know is that this will definitely be a fun project, and I hope that one day this train can become a Christmas train around my tree and for my children. I also got this that's included in the pack. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like decals. They've definitely been folded over. I'll have to take a look at it. Also, interestingly enough, I got this box of Lionel road signs. Pretty cool. These are all made in the USA. They just don't make locomotives like this and accessories like this in the USA anymore. It's just crazy. I also got all the track. You can see the track has definitely seen better days. I don't know much about this type of track. I don't know if this is even any good or any worth saving. We'll have to, yeah, see, you got some really damaged pieces like that one. May not be able to use those. I don't know. This will be a learning experience, but I think it'll be a great opportunity, and it just goes with the theme from the last video, from the first video, that there's a lot of treasures out there that people just don't want, but people like me and hopefully people like you want them, and we can restore stuff like this. So, with that being said, if you want to see more from this new Lionel project and maybe other train content, railroading content, please leave a like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll have another video up about this locomotive and its set soon. So, stay tuned.